Good morning, students. America Through Multimedia. Ethical use of digital content. This is stuff that, as we head into our final project, is going to be very important for you guys to understand. Hopefully we can stay within the legal laws of what fair use and other things are allowing us to do. So looking at this is for my periods 1 and 4 class. Hopefully we can help streamline this process so that you guys not only create fantastic final projects, but also make sure that you're not stepping on anybody else's toes. First thing we need to worry about here is a copyright, and this is an exclusive legal right given to an originator. Think of a musician or somebody that comes up with the song or the music, an artist. You want to make sure that you are, if in fact you are using their work, you are being given permission on that. Not doing so, you violate copyright law, and you can face some legal action related to this. Fair use. Even if you have the ability to use some, for example, portions of a film, portions of songs, there's a certain amount that you are able to be used without getting permission. It's generally very small portions of it. If you click on this video here at home or in class, it'll give you 4 determining factors and helping you sort out exactly how much of the piece you can use without having to get legal permission from the originator. Public domain, that is kind of what you're looking for as far as stuff that's easiest to use with these type of projects. Anything that belongs to the public as a whole and therefore is not subject to copyright laws. And to continue with public domain, in general, any works published after 1977 will not fall into the public domain until 70 years after the death of the author or creator of the piece. So these are things today where you can use things like Shakespeare without really having to get permission. Shakespeare's been dead. But if you're going to go out and use a piece of Van Halen work that, obviously they're still around and kicking, you're going to have to worry about copyright. You're going to have to worry about fair use laws. Those have not yet fallen into the public domain. Creative Commons is something I'm a little bit more familiar with. This applies to works done by nonprofit creators who've waived the copyright associated with their work, providing that the end user, you, abides by the licensing terms of that piece. This America Through Multimedia digital image that I have up here is actually the cover of a textbook that I am a co-author of. We wrote this under Creative Commons through the University of Minnesota, using Creative Commons and fair use and a lot of other stuff. And that is available for anyone else to steal and use portions of if they so choose in the future. So I'm a little more familiar with Creative Commons because I've been a part of kind of Creative Commons licensing in the past. Education-friendly resources. So these are things that are created by educators for both educators and students. These are generally published online for free. And as a result of that, these are free of copyright, provided they are used for educational purposes. So if in any way these are used in something that is for profit, then the copyright would apply. Some resources to help you get what you need ethically without violating copyright laws. If you're looking for some images, I have two sites here. You can click on these links. It'll take you right to them. Unsplash, fantastic use of photos, free photos gifted by photographers that are out there that just really want to share their work with the world and allow you to use their photos for free. Another one is called Reshot. It's a huge library of hand-picked photos, stock photos. Think of the photos you see on billboards or in the back of business cards. Those type of photos are out there, but they claim to mainly have a lot of stuff that nobody else has out there. If you're looking for things in sound effects, you want to drop sound effects in, you're building a video game, you want to drop that in, you want to drop it into a presentation, a lot of different ways to do that. One of these is called Freesound, and these are Creative Commons sounds to be used and shared. Click on that freesound.org link right there, it'll take you to them. And another that is pretty neat is called Free to Use Sounds. It's a license-free, royalty-free, high-quality sound library. These have so many different variations of things. I had a lot of fun playing around with it. I think you guys will too. Just click on those links, it'll take you to that. You can lose yourself for an hour or two. If you are looking for clip art, obviously there's so much out there that we can just cut and paste off the internet. But when worrying about copyrights and other things, open this. The first one I have here is called Open Clip Art. It's commercial and non-commercial use. You do not need permission to use these for commercial purposes. The second one is called Classroom Clip Art. This is probably more appropriate for things, presentation type things you'll be doing in the classroom, but they have over 100,000 clip art images in over 2,000 different categories. Again, pop in there, you can get lost for an hour or two just searching and having a little bit of fun and seeing what's out there. The last source I'm looking at here is for video, and rather than just hopping onto Google and looking up video stuff in YouTube where you're running into some copyright issues, these two here are fantastic. Videvo is the first one, royalty-free video clips. Think of for GIFs and motion graphics, sound effects. It's got a lot of stuff. This is kind of a one-stop shop for a lot of things, but it was one of the better ones I found with video, but it also does happen to contain some sound effects and motion graphics in there as well. The second I found that was really huge, Pixabay, 1.5 million stock photos and videos. That is a massive, massive collection. These are just done by local people in different regions that upload their stuff, and there's so much stuff you can find on there if you're looking for photos and videos. Again, these are not your basic stock photos. If you want something that's a little bit different than you see on a lot of other presentations, these are things that are a little bit harder to find. They're not as accessible, but because of this, they've become much more accessible, but few people know about these types of events. So hopefully this helps you understand some of the stuff that we're looking at here, how to find some of this, how to use it, and hopefully just by clicking through some of these links, you can spend some time finding things to make your final presentations in America Through Multimedia a little bit more individualized than a lot of the same stock photos and video clips and sound clips that we see. And also, I think you're going to have a lot more fun doing it this way. Thanks. Let me know if you guys have any questions.